what I like about him is the gusset, like across the crotch section. They call it the
lip
gusset.
coverage.
Disgusting. I would never say that.
I know, I died.
I specifically did not use that word.
God, it's horrible, Jess.
It is. You might as well just toss moist in there and then really just juice it up.
The moist lip
Juice it
coverage.
up.
So gross. But yeah, that was my favorite thing.
Hey there. Welcome to Parties to Playdates. I'm Kendall.
And I'm Jess. We're here to fill your day with warmth and laughter.
Join us as we navigate the chaos and joy of everyday life.
We're all about sharing real-life moments with a dash of humor and practical tips.
So grab your coffee and settle in for a cozy chat.
Because here, every moment is a story worth sharing.
No topic is off limit.
And every listener is a friend.
Let's get this party started. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Look, we have my sister here today.
Yay.
We're very similar.
Yeah, look, we're kind of. You guys realize we're looking like very Charlie's Angels. My hair's almost red right now.
Oh my gosh,
we're like
that's
a red
so
blonde brunette.
true.
Yeah,
Ooh.
we could start a gang.
Ready?
I like it.
Yeah, a Florida gang. Mine was not cute.
Whenever Kendall does those things when she's like, "Oh, let's flex for the camera," I feel ridiculous, and Kendall looks super freaking cute.
She also looked adorable. I concur. She looked adorable, and I looked ridiculous.
I just look confused.
Just wait for the no pants episode.
I know that one's gonna. That's where I'm gonna shine.
Me too. We can all rock the no pants. Great
That's
from
my
the waist
episode.
down.
That is your episode. That's so funny.
I love it. Well, this is my big sister, my big little sister, I like to say, because she's tiny.
I'm not that tiny anymore. I'm not as tiny as I used to be.
You're still tiny, though.
Little.
But she's here today to talk to us about a fun topic. But before we get to that, we're going to ask, what did they say or do?
All right, so I have a funny story for you guys. My husband's kind of a picky eater, not like a jerk about it. He just is particular. He's kind of a little bit of a toddler, not very adventurous with food. He likes his breakfast very, what I would call like 80-year-old man American, like eggs, toast, things like that. And yeah, it's very specific. I'm not joking.
80-year-old
Like he
American
wants
man.
scrambled eggs. He doesn't want over medium eggs. He wants very simple things. So he made himself breakfast the other day. He's like, "Do you want breakfast?" Makes me my fried eggs, and he makes his scrambled eggs. And I was on the phone, but I was grabbing my food, and he had a piece of toast with jam and a piece of toast with some scrambled eggs on it. And I put sriracha on my fried eggs.
Yum.
I'm doing like fried eggs and cottage cheese and sriracha. It's like my new obsession. It's good. Try it. It's delicious. I'm always trying to get him to try sriracha on eggs. And he's like, "No, I don't like stuff on my eggs." So he turned his back to rinse something in the sink, and I put like a tiny little dot of sriracha on the corner of his egg that's on his toast. And I just go back to what I'm doing, and then he looks at me, but because I'm on the phone, he doesn't want to talk because he knows I'm talking to someone, and he goes, "What the fuck?" In like just mouths to me. Before I can respond, because I'm on the phone, he wipes the sriracha off with his finger and wipes it onto the edge of his jam toast because he thought it was jam.
Stop.
And I was on with a work colleague, and I started laughing. I was like, "You need to hold on, please. I have to deal with something." And I started laughing so hard. I was like, "Why would you wipe that on your toast?" He's like, "Why would you put jam on my eggs? You know I don't like stuff on my eggs." And I was like, first off, I would never put jam on your eggs. It is actually sriracha, and you could have just bit it and it would be gone. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, why would you put sriracha?" I'm like, "It was a dot of sriracha. Like you like sriracha." He's not on my eggs. He was so mad. So yeah, that was the funniest thing that's happened recently. And and then a couple of days later, he hates mushrooms, will not eat mushrooms. I know this is a thing he doesn't like. And I like to make sauteed mushrooms for myself. So we made pasta. He had plain pasta, and I literally took one of my mushrooms and set it on his pasta when he wasn't looking. And when he saw it, he was like, "Why would you do this?" Pulled it off like I put a dog turd on his pasta. I was like, "It's just a mushroom." And he was like, "It's going to get the flavor all over my pasta." And I was like, "It's one mushroom, and no, it's not going to get its flavor anywhere. It's not flavorful unless you put it in your mouth."
Mushrooms,
Yeah, oh my gosh, so good.
I feel like you just need to get better about hiding what you're putting on his food.
I do. If anyone
With the egg,
listen,
then squirt.
I'll be honest. I regularly give friends with toddlers tricks to how to hide vegetables in meals because Chris, if the vegetables are too noticeable and like soft and chewy, he won't eat them. Like, so soups, I puree things because I want the flavor. Chili, I do the same thing. He never knows. Obviously, I don't put mushrooms in things because I'm not a jerk. But he's going to eat an onion and a celery and a carrot.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The sriracha on a jelly toast sounds delicious. It's like a sweet, spicy.
You would.
It
you
was
would.
So good.
It was blackberry jam. It probably hit, honestly.
It probably did.
But he should have
Yum.
just taken a bite out of the toast like a normal human and just sucked it up no matter what it was, even if it was jam. But it wasn't jam. It was sriracha. So
That's hilarious.
That's funny. Well, my story's funny because I was actually on the phone with you when my story happened. I was in the Chick-fil-A drive-thru the other day, and they were taking a while, and I was on the phone with Jamie, and all of a sudden I see somebody over on the sidewalk is motioning towards me, and I realize it's these 3 teenage boys on scooters, and they're waving at me, and they're doing this hand motion like pushing as if you were pushing your foot down on your gas pedal. Like they were trying to get me. I was like, oh my gosh, I think these boys are trying to get me to rev my engine. And so I was just about to pull up. So I was like, just a minute. And I pull up and I like put it in park and I just revved it. I was like, rum, rum, brah, and it like,
Chick-fil-A?
yeah, in the Chick-fil-A drive-thru, it was very busy. And they were literally on the side of the sidewalk, jumping, cheering, like hooting and hollering over my engine revving.
That is great.
The Chick-fil-A employee like peeks his head out of the drive-thru and they're like, what the hell's going on in the drive-thru? And I'm just like, rum, rum. And they cheer me on and then they jump on their scooters and scooter away.
Can they see you through your windows?
Yeah, they were kind of towards the front so they could see me, and they're super happy. They're cheering me on. And my sister is on the phone and she goes, I explain what just happened. She goes, what is your life even? Like, what is this life you have? She's like, I'm so
That's exactly what I
confused.
said.
She's like, what the heck? She's like, what is this life you're living? I was like, I don't know, but that was really fun.
You're like, I'm gonna start revving everywhere.
I know.
I mean, she made their day.
I really
she
did.
didn't have to do it, but she made their day. So
And
it was
then I
worth
pulled
it.
up, I had to pull up a couple more car lengths, and I was almost to the window, and I see them coming back down the sidewalk. And as they pass, my windows were all up, and you could hear them, woo, 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 like cheering me on, like fist in the air, like, oh, yeah.
Freaking boys.
There's our friend. And I was like, man, my car is really a teenage boy magnet, unfortunately. That's where I get a lot of attention with the car, but it was so funny. So
That's great.
Yeah.
It is literally like a teenage boy dream
It
car.
is.
We were obsessed with Mustangs when we were kids.
Yeah.
So our uncle had them. We always really liked them. So
yeah.
it makes sense that teenager boys are into it.
Yeah, 100%. My story is sad and funny at the same time. But I went to go get a car wash. Mind you, Maverick is like 50-50 in the car wash. He sometimes really likes it. Sometimes, I guess it's 30-30-30. Sometimes really likes it. Sometimes doesn't even notice what's going on. Or he is crying, screaming. I know. And
It is a little intense.
It is scary. He loved it when he was like a baby, but now he's way too like curious about the world, and I think it scares him with all the noises and the sounds and like shit getting thrown at your window and like getting slammed and wiped off. I don't know. But we pull into the car wash and he's in a bad mood. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. So yeah, he cried the whole way through, and I was like, can this just be done? Like, can we just be done? And you know, he's like shaking and I feel horrible. And we like drive up to the thing to go vacuum, and he's also scared of the vacuum, which is so weird because he's not scared of our vacuum here. He's scared of like, I don't know exactly what part of this vacuum he's scared of, but he's also scared of like the hand dryers in the bathrooms.
Okay,
It's like the
he sounds like
noise.
my dog. My dog is afraid of anything that makes a loud noise, and
Yeah.
also car washes. He's afraid of the blow
Interesting.
dryer. He's afraid of the vacuum. It might just be too much sensory it just
Overload?
might- it might be too much noise, and he doesn't understand where the noise is coming from. That's what I think my dog does. He's like, "Where's all that sound coming from?" And he like freaks out.
It's weird. He sees me holding the vacuum, which it's just like a little black like flatly looking thing.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the front seats, and he's fine. The second I get to the back seat, he's like, oh, and I'm like, oh my God, honey, stop. Like, here, I'll move you. So I moved him to the front seat, to the passenger seat. Happy as can be. He's like, oh, what's that? What's that? What's that? And I'm like doing this, and I go pick up, like the little mat beaters where you put like your mats in and they drop down below. I went to go get that and I turn around and literally my car is like bouncing side to side. The windshield wipers are on full blast. He's going on the steering wheel, honks the horn. My back door opens with the windshield wiper going, and I was like, oh my God. Thank God. So my car doesn't have like the turning nozzle for like the volume, so I'm sure he would have been like, yeah. You have to like press the screen. But yeah, I have a video. It's so funny. He's literally just like having his best time in the front seat of the car at the car wash after he had a mental breakdown. So it was great. I was like, I don't even care.
My question is, did you have your car keys with you outside of the car, or was one of the doors open? Or was he shut in the car? Could he have locked himself in there?
No, my car,
Okay.
luckily, the keys were in the car.
Oh, okay.
But luckily, my car will not let you lock it with the keys
Mine's
in the
the
car.
same. Okay,
Absolutely
I just was
not.
curious because that right there is like my nightmare.
Oh my gosh,
like, I
that is
know
a nightmare.
people who've accidentally let like their toddlers locked themselves in their car.
It's okay.
It never happened to me, but it's like a weird fear I have. And if I ever have a toddler with me, I'm like, make sure you have the keys when you get out of the car.
You know what's weird is I actually have never thought about that happening, and I think it's just because I know my car will not
Does
let
your
me
car
do it.
have a fob? Do you know if your fob battery is low, it will allow you to lock the key in your car?
Really?
I know this from personal experience because I put my key in my disc golf bag and put it in my trunk accidentally and realized my key was in my bag after the trunk closed. We had to call a locksmith to unlock
Oh yeah,
our
no.
trunk.
If my child was locked in the car, especially here in Florida when it's like really, I would be breaking windows.
Yeah.
I'd probably break my
It's the
windshield
same
because
in
you get a
Southern
free
Utah.
windshield. I mean, let's be honest. That's probably a bad idea. Ryan, don't listen to this.
Oh my.
Wait,
I like
hold
how
on.
you're like, I'm going to break the front one because you can get a free one. Super easy. I'm just going to call.
You do. Safe flight. I really just needed to honestly get all the Cheerios and goldfish out from his car seat because he keeps
Sometimes
finding
you just
them.
have to do what you got to do when you're a mom. Sometimes you got to just, you'll be fine. You will eventually not be traumatized here. That's
Yeah.
what I do with my dog. I'm like, sorry,
I'm
I
so
have to blow
sorry.
dry my hair.
Yeah.
Go in the other room.
I'm
You'll be
here.
fine.
It's free vacuuming. I'm not going to ever do this at my house.
They're like industrial level suction.
And it really does do a difference. Like your car looks so much better after. It makes me
For a
feel
day.
good.
It looks better for a day.
Yeah. Yes.
Kendall, why don't you tell what we're talking about today?
So we're doing
life.
it's like off-grid
My
living,
lifestyle.
right? Is that
Yeah.
what you would like to call
yeah.
it?
Yeah, we can call it whatever. I don't really have it. I mean, some people would call it tiny living. Some people would call
Yeah.
it crazy. I don't know. I think
I love it because this is something that I've always been interested in.
Yeah.
And even though my husband thinks this house is too small,
I
don't.
You don't realize how little space you need until you don't have it.
I can't wait to hear everything.
Where do you want me to start?
I'm so excited.
All right, so we'll give you a little backstory quick. I was married for almost 20 years, and we just lived a normal life like everyone does. I had a house. We bought a house when I was like 25, and it was 1,400 square feet with my 2 kids, 3-bedroom, normal. And that's how my kids grew up. And then when I got divorced and they finished high school and stuff, I met my partner, my current partner, and he was in the process of changing over to off-grid living. Mainly he had done the same thing. His kids were adults and he was just wanting to live somewhere else. He'd bought property and wanted to do something on it, was planning on building. I'm really where I am because I met him and we did this, but also I've always been curious about the more simple life. I'm not really someone who, where I live, a lot of people do like, oh, we need to like have bigger and better. And oh, we have a nice car, let's get a nicer car. And oh, we have a house that's this big, let's get a bigger house. Like the goal is always to keep moving bigger and bigger. My ex was like that. He always wanted to do something different and a bigger house and stuff. And I was pretty comfortable in 1,400 square feet with a family of 4 and all my pets. Like at one point we had three dogs and 5 cats because we're like, we're
fun.
animal lovers and we like are pet collectors. If a stray showed up, it just ended up living with us. So when I met Chris, he was in the process. He was already living off grid. He was on solar and in the process of building a home, which we are still working on, but we're doing it ourselves. So that's just a financing thing. So right now, in the meantime, we ended up getting a 5th wheel trailer that we built, like we remodeled. So the inside looks more modern. It looks almost like an apartment, but it's a 5th wheel with slide outs. So I don't know exactly the square footage. We're probably around 300 square feet or something, which is everything. It's our bedroom, our living room, our kitchen. We're on full solar, and we're not on a traditional solar. Chris builds our solar. Like he buys batteries.
That is so cool.
And does all that, gets all the components and puts it together. There's like a little misinformation when it comes to solar. I think a lot of people think you're spending like $10,000 to $40,000 to put solar on your home.
Yeah.
It's just a way that they make money because it's not like there are other ways to do solar. Like you can do your own. And Chris is really smart and he's really self-taught. And so if he decides he's going to do something, he'll just figure it out and make it work. So at this point, he's built 4 different solar systems. He's sold a couple to people we know. But like right now, in the winter, even with the short sunny days, we have more than enough power to power our fifth wheel. And then my daughter lives on our property in another fifth wheel, which was kind of an accident.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and she
though.
loves it because she likes her own space and stuff. So we basically live like a tiny life. We're on septic. We do not use any power. We don't even have power to our property. There's power about a mile below us where we live in the country. But really, our intention was to be off grid so that we're not just spending money on things. So we spend 0 money on electric.
Amazing.
We have solar. In the summer, we run air conditioners. We run everything you need to run in a normal house without trouble. It's very simple. We use gas like propane for heat. And yeah, like my house isn't big, but I love it. It's honestly, when you downsize, you're like, I have so much stuff. And then you get rid of it and you're like, why did I have all that stuff? We just don't need nearly as much as we think. And even in my small space, regularly I go through my things and get rid of stuff. We live off grid and it's very chill. You know, most people would consider it like a tiny living kind of situation. And honestly, in the winter, we do spend quite a bit more on propane because where we live is cold in the winter.
That was one of my questions.
Yeah,
was
so
winter time.
cost-wise, because we're on solar, we don't spend any money on power. We do haul water in. We will eventually do a well on our property, but since COVID, well drilling costs have skyrocketed.
And it's already expensive as is.
It's really expensive. So like, I think where we are, just to drill a well, you can be anywhere between $20,000 and $50,000.
That's crazy.
And the problem with well drilling is they cannot tell you how long it'll take before they hit the water table where we're at, and we're in the desert, like high desert. So you're basically, once they start, you're invested. And once they start, anything they drill, you're paying for. And if they don't hit water, and it's $30,000, you still have a $30,000 cost.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a commitment, and you cannot get financing for it unless you are a contractor who is paid for it. There's a lot of like loopholes when it comes to like drilling wells.
That's crazy. Because who just has that sitting around?
No one.
Nobody.
No one. And trying to get the financing for it is a joke. So that's kind of where we have our house. We have our foundation built. Like we did everything ourselves. We did over excavating and we did footers and we did brickwork, and we did it all. We've got that level is done. But we've been stuck there because when COVID happened, the cost of everything went really up. So right now we're kind of waiting to be like, let's see what we can get away with doing this year. But in the meantime, when we were trying to build our house, we ended up in this fifth wheel and it was going to be temporary. And we've been there for almost 5 years. So we've been there a while now. And honestly, when we finish our small house that we're building, I don't know that I will need to live there. Like for me, the one thing I'll love is having a bigger kitchen. I have a pretty good sized kitchen for a fifth wheel.
That's great.
For a tiny space. And that's why we have the one we have, is because of the design. But I don't know that I'll need it because I'm so used to how my life is now. I don't know. I think that giving tiny living a shot is really smart, especially for couples who are young and don't have kids yet or only have one kid. You don't nearly need the space you think you do. And I can clean my entire house, deep clean my entire house in like less than an hour. And
That's huge.
yeah, there was times before in my house I couldn't clean my kitchen in an hour, you know, and or even sweep my floors
Yeah,
or
for
something,
real.
you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird thing I'd thought about that I never like really was like, oh, I'm going to do this until we were doing it, you know. And then now, because we remodeled the trailer we lived in originally, we really enjoyed that. And then we started flipping trailers, which kind of has turned into a business for my husband.
That's really
so
cool.
we remodel older fifth wheel trailers and make them modern and pretty and livable.
And they're beautiful. They're really,
they are.
they're really nice. We'll make sure to share your guys'
My Instagram.
Instagram because the before and afters are freaking phenomenal.
Fifth wheel trailers in general, the newer ones, if you're spending $200,000 on a
Yeah.
trailer, you can get one that's white and gray and they look awesome. But they're pretty monochrome. It's my least favorite thing. I did see a model on an RV show thing that was really, really cool. And they had done better with the colors, but most of the time they're boring. So the old ones, it's just all brown wood.
Yeah.
It's some kind of hideous valance. It's covered in some floral pattern. I don't know. It's always just horrible. And so we remove all of that. We redo countertops. We redo all the fixtures and make things modern and pretty and fun. Really, started doing it because we really enjoyed it, doing it together. And then also, living is so expensive for
Yeah.
young people. Like my kids, like I said, my daughter lives on my property. The trailer she's in, we just found for a really good deal. And we had some extra money. We're like, we should buy this and flip it for fun. And then she asked if she could live with us. Like,
That's
hey, can I
amazing.
rent your trailer? And I was like, yeah, of course. And she's been there as long as I have, like a couple months later.
I find it so intriguing because I watch all these different YouTube videos and stuff, and one of them is alternative living, and so many of them are small, tiny homes, and they're all so beautiful. They're usually all built by the people that are living in it, or someone on the land or something like that. But it is just so fun and so interesting how you can find dual. What is the word I'm looking for?
Purposes?
Yes, dual purposes for so many things.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
You have to.
Yeah, if we're remodeling something and we build a giant bench, the giant bench needs to be accessible for storage because you're basically adding extra storage, and there's absolutely no reason not to do that. A lot of times we put couches that have a convertible style to them or are a nice looking futon, like a futon couch where you can also use it for a bed. We want things to be useful, but also we're designing them, we're making them for people to live in. If you're a bougie camper, you'd be fine. Like if you wanted to camp in like style and look cool, which we have. We did remodel one for a couple that commissioned us to remodel one. They had a newer tag-along trailer that they had started to remodel. They were probably in their 60s and they had started to remodel it, and then they realized that painting a fifth wheel is a pain. It's like painting 6 bathrooms because it's a small space and it's a lot of corners and edges and stuff that nobody wants to do. You like
true.
think it's a good idea to paint a bathroom till you start painting it, and then you're like, this is worse than I thought it was going to be.
A lot of tape. A lot of
There's a lot of prep. We had finished a remodel for them to fix like the stuff that they got sick of doing. Ultimately, for me, I really love if we can get a trailer for really cheap and sell it for a good price, and some cute little college age couple wants to buy it and they're going to put it on their mom's property or something. I love that because when I was in my 20s, the cost of living was just so different. My rental was 3-bedroom and it was $750 a month, and I rented the downstairs out to a friend. So it wasn't like it was affordable. Like we were able, and I'm lucky that I was able to do that when I had little kids and we only had one income and stuff like that, you know? And like my daughters, neither of them would even consider having kids right now because of the cost of living. Like you said, you'll see things on YouTube and see people, and we watch so many people on YouTube. There's these girls called Van Wives. I love them. They're so cute. They did an entire homestead on their own in Canada. They bought property. It's beautiful.
That's awesome.
And they have all these videos of them doing stuff, and they have a crazy solar setup. They have their water system. Their setup is really good. And now they're doing it in Mexico, like down in Baja.
What a dream.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're like really fun. It's fun to see people who just seem normal making something for themselves, because I feel like as someone who's in their 40s, like our parents wouldn't have been like, you could do something different. They're like, you become an adult and you have a job and you get married and you get a house.
Yeah, all the things.
Yeah, I feel like people think there's an order to things, and I think sometimes it's smart. There is a lot of weird things that come with it, to be honest. Like we own our property. It is paid for.
That's amazing.
But even though our property is paid for, even though we're in the country, the city has so many rules about our property. So because we're building and we have a building permit, we're able to live on our property. But if we didn't have our building permit, technically we are not legally allowed to live on our own property, even if it's paid for. I'll be honest, we're not the only fifth wheel or trailer or alternate style living. Like down the street from us, there's some people who live in diesel truck trailers that have been remodeled. There's a lot of people who do Connex living out there. But there's a lot of rules about it. And so we have to make sure that we're following the rules, make sure that we have our permits where they're supposed to be, especially when we're like waiting to decide where we're going to go with our build next, you know? But honestly, for me, like I'd love to finish our house and maybe have it, but ultimately I'd love to just get a medium-sized motorhome, not a big one, like a little smaller than we live in now. Right now we're in a 32-foot fifth wheel, and remodel that. And I'd love to just travel because I work remotely. So I would love to just decide where we're going to go for the weather to be nice and go for 2 to 3 weeks, and then drive a couple days and get somewhere else and just explore it. This country is so big. And
huge.
As much as I've been to quite a few states, there are some areas that I've never even gotten anywhere near, you know? So it's definitely something that's doable. It's affordable. Like in the winter, we're maybe we spend like 175 to 280 on gas. And that's because there's certain times of the winter where our overnight temperatures are like 8 degrees.
Yeah.
And our highs are in the 30s. So like it's cold and our heater runs all night, all day.
24/7.
Yeah. So we do go through propane, and we have propane on site where they come and fill it for us, so we don't have to go and fill tanks and stuff. So there's that. But other than that, our property is paid for. Our trailer is paid for. Our solar is paid for.
That's amazing.
And
What a
our
good feeling.
yeah, it is and honestly, our expenses, my entire existence of my first marriage, You got your paychecks. I had to make sure I knew where my money was going and which bills were being paid. And I'm talking thousands of dollars every week that were going to places. And there were times when I was like, don't touch the bank account because that money is allocated for bills that are coming up in 3 days, you know? I literally have a car payment. I pay my insurance. I have my cell phone. That's the bills I have. We don't really
That's
have.
usually
And then
really
our
good.
propane. Yeah. And then we haul water in these big tanks that we put in the back of our truck once every probably 2 weeks. And that's enough for us and my daughter. We go to an RV campground and we pay them and we pay $20 a month to fill water up anytime we want.
Are you serious?
We used to do it for free. You could go to a gas station and fill your tanks.
No
And then
way.
because we get a lot of seasonal camping where we're at, a lot of the gas stations started locking their water things.
Yeah.
Then we were like, we'll find somewhere. Chris was like, if I knew I could come here for $20 a month to get
Yeah.
water and just not have to worry about it.
That's
And
huge.
Yeah. It's literally like 15 minutes of our day. We do 2 hoses from 2 faucets.
Easy.
And 15 minutes later, our tank, it's 350 gallons of water. Also, I don't think anyone realizes, but the amount of water that people use in a
Is
normal
sickening.
household, I want to say it's 600 to 900 gallons per person per household per day. Per day. It's a crazy number of water because you do things like you go to brush your teeth and you leave the water running. You go
That's
to
my
wash
biggest pet peeve.
you go to wash your hands and you leave the water running. You wash your face, you leave the water running. You're doing dishes and water's just running everywhere. The dishwasher, the washer, all the things use so much water. We wash our laundry at the laundromat because we have space for a washer and dryer, but we just don't use it. We did it before and it was a pain. And I was like, there's 2 of us. We do the laundry together. We get it done. He actually did laundry.
It's so much faster
Yeah.
at the laundromat.
100% it is.
Especially with 2 of you that are both
And they
willing
have
to
the
do everything.
biggest drums to put everything in. Just put it all in one.
And they have 8 washers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, where I go, we have 30 washers and
Oh my God, better.
there's 20 dryers. We'll put our 3 loads of clothes in 4 dryers so they're dry in 10 minutes. Like we can
huge.
wash dry all our clothes in less than an hour at a laundromat.
That's amazing.
But
is it next to a bar? Because that'd be even better.
The bar is actually right down the street. I could definitely walk to the bar. I've never
That's
thought about
another
that.
one we could do, a bar laundromat.
Oh my gosh.
Laundromat?
I see Kendall just rolling up to the laundromat with a 20-pack of Budweiser. And she's just the gross Bush Light. You know, she's just drinking shitty beer and doing her laundry.
I'll be honest.
In a wife beater.
I thought you were going to say a moo-moo.
That too. I'll be honest, our favorite laundromat was kind of an older ghetto laundromat, but it has really killer, like old school dryers that are so hot. But they just built a new one. And so we've been going to that one and it's really nice. And they actually have really nice attendants that always are like asking you if you need help and stuff. It's
Aw.
amazing. And their washers, everything's digital. Like you do it on an app.
Stop it.
So you literally just go in and you have the app and you pick your washer and you
That's
pick what you're doing.
fantastic.
Same with the dryers. And there's one like
Wow.
that in Cedar and in St. George.
Really good idea.
When I went to pack, I realized like all my favorite underwear were in the laundry. I have tons of underwear. So I had to bring like alternative ones. The ones today are like extra
Alternative.
high rise, guys. Extra full coverage. I feel like I'm like wearing
Only
a,
granny panties for this trip.
they're not even granny panties. They're more like it almost looks like a fancy
hilarious.
diaper. I don't know. It's like
Oh my God.
it's like very
Even
it's
better.
like tigers. I don't know. It's like they're really fun
These are
print.
like post-pregnancy
They're ones-
panties.
Oh, I still wear mine.
They're
years
comfortable.
Later.
They're just way more high rise than I'm comfortable with. I like a
That's
high
so
rise, but
funny.
not too high rise. An Instagrammer I follow always says hot girls wear high rise panties.
100%.
And I was like, because they're comfortable. She's like, if they stick out of your pants above the front, it's because you're a hot girl. And I'm like, that's fucking right.
You're like, that's me. I'll literally pull my high rise out like literally every other day and just like wear that in a t-shirt. And Brian goes, great, there they are again. He's like, I thought we were done with those days. I'm like, nope.
Do you know what? As a child who grew up in the 90s, who like, there was, when we were in high school, it was kind of a thing to have like the little tiny low rise string side panties, which were fine. As a human adult with soft tissue, I would never wear
Soft
those.
tissue.
Like things that squish, gross. But like like a nice wide gusset, like high rise panty that sits comfortably at like a nice belly button level that's smooth. Under your leggings, you forget you have panties
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
I want to be comfortable. Like, I love a sexy panty, but if I'm comfortable all day, that's what I want. Like, I really want. But he did our laundry because we didn't. So he tells me yesterday, I did the laundry today when I got bored. And he's like, I really don't ever want to have to fold both of our laundries by myself ever again.
That's a lot.
And ours isn't even that much. It's like 2 loads. And guys, let's be honest. His clothes is probably 70, 75% because he's outside working and he's just messy and dirty because he's he's a dude. And mine's just all like my pajama shirts and like maybe a pair of leggings and my panties and socks. Mostly panties and socks is what I have in there.
Yeah.
I think that people have a bad idea about laundromats. Guys, it'll change your life.
Yeah.
If you have kids and you get to a point where your laundry is too much, pay the money and go to the laundromat.
Dude, I've 100% looked into how much the laundromat attendant
Services?
ladies services charge for laundry. And I think around here, it's like $1 a pound. And I was like, I
weigh my
probably
laundry.
have at least 100 pounds of laundry. But I'm like, I would pay like $150 for somebody else to do my laundry all day. Seriously, like
That is actually
I have
really
way
good
too
idea.
many kids for that, and it's fast. But speaking of panties, the other day, my oldest is walking through the kitchen doing something, and she was like, "Yeah," she's like, "I need to do my laundry." She's like, "I'm out of underwear." She's like, "So I took some of yours the other day," and I was like, "Excuse me? Is nothing sacred in my home anymore?"
Nope, not if you're the
I'm
mom.
like, you guys steal my clothes, you steal my shoes.
You have to be the guy. You have to be the
now
guy
you're
to have
stealing
anything
my
protected.
panties. And she was like, yeah. She's like, these aren't even comfortable though. She's like, honestly, they're kind of garbage. She's like, do these even cover your lips in the front? And I was like,
Specific.
I was like, oh my God. I was like, keep them. They're yours. And she was like, seriously, like, I don't know how you're wearing these. I was like, I don't know why you're wearing them is my fucking question. And she was
hilarious.
she's like, you can wash them. I was like, it doesn't matter. They belong to you now. You stay out of my panty drawer, please.
I thought you were just going to say she didn't wear panties. I was like,
No.
okay, commando, whatever.
You would die. You would hate my panty collection.
Why?
You guys would fall over.
Is it
and-
small?
Yes, it's Ryan
What does it
buys
go
me
in?
underwear.
Is it the size of a bread box? Is it the size of a shoe box?
Oh, girl, it's probably a Stanley container, like a Stanley cup. You can probably put all
All
my
your
underwear.
panties in a Stanley Cup? Even though I live in a small space, like I actually have an entire drawer of panties. It's probably I would say two good size shoe boxes, two good size
Oh
shoe
my God, that's a
boxes full of
lot.
panties.
See,
and I probably only wear
Yeah.
50% of them. A lot of them I save because they're pretty and I'll wear them like with specific things. But like my comfortable ones, I probably have 10 to 20 pairs that I really love that are. I did, if anyone's ever not done Cheeky Boss, it's like a panty subscription and you get right colors. They have like several styles, like a cheeky low rise. They have a brief style. They have a high rise. But what I like about them is the gusset, like across the pant, like the crotch section. They call it the
lip
gusset.
coverage.
Disgusting. I would never say that.
I know, I
can't.
died.
I specifically did not use that word.
God, it's horrible,
Gross.
Jess.
It is. You might as well just toss moist in there and then really just juice it up.
The moist lip coverage.
So gross. But yeah, that was my favorite thing. The gusset is nice and wide.
Yeah.
For a grown ass woman who like doesn't want to worry about her panties slipping around her crotch area.
Yeah.
So you do a panty subscription, and if you're not super picky, it'd be great for you if you need some new panties, Kendall.
I probably do because you know what? I actually was commando until I got pregnant.
Oh, really?
So
also,
I never owned underwear.
I'll be honest, the most comfortable panties I own, like where I honestly sometimes forget that I have my panties on. Because I feel like for a long time I did like really cutesy little like low rise panties, which I loved. If you have an active lifestyle, like when I'm disc golfing and I'm out, like my I'll know within the first 10 minutes of disc golf I wore the wrong panties.
Oh, I
under
say
my
it all the
shorts.
time when I'm doing workouts. I'm like, I wore the wrong underwear.
Yeah.
I fully have a camel toe and I'm picking my wedgie.
Yeah,
Sorry, everybody.
and for the workouts, like I'm the same with working out the brief style that have decent coverage and the gusset doesn't move. And so when they're under my leggings, they do not move. I mean, squats, doesn't matter what I'm doing, I'm comfortable. I'm not picking my wedgie at the
great.
gym because no one likes, like anytime I wear a tiny little thin pair of Victoria's Secret, no show at the gym, I spend half my time adjusting my panties. It's so weird.
Because those ones give you the front thong
Oh my gosh. I
vibe
just
when
feel
you
like
go into those deep squats.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. And
yeah.
then like trying to pull it out the front, like every time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't be doing this, you guys. This is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I just feel like my body generally is predisposed to have camel toe, so I already have to be like aware. Listen, some of us have visible lip marks. It's like nipples, guys. Some nipples just show.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
That is so
And so
true.
it's something I'm very conscious of. Like I'm not nearly as paranoid about it as I used to be, but I'm conscious of it. Some people are just over here with their like little dainty,
Cute little-
perfectly smooth vaginal areas. Not me. Mine's hidden under
Speaking
my
of nipples
nice size
showing.
gusset.
One of my customers at work the other day, they're on spring break. They came in and they were wearing all these cute little hot, tight dresses. big titties, like huge boobs.
Florida, baby.
And she had, I know. Yeah, they were like, oh, spring break, woo! And I'm like, yeah, come in, give me your money. And they were wearing really cute dresses. And her dress was like, and I don't know what the style is called, but it's almost like a halter. It swoops down right here.
Oh
and then
yeah,
it
it's
goes
like a
this.
T-strap with an extreme like scoop. Yeah,
And to an extreme, and her boobs were so big.
he was popping.
Her nipple, it was like this, and her nipple was just hanging out the side. And
It was
And no one
side
told
nipple
her? It
instead of side boob.
nipple.
Okay,
And I was like,
I have not seen that, but I've seen a lot in Vegas. So
first off, couldn't stop staring. Secondly, I really, really, truly wanted to say something to her, but she was also with like 8 other friends, and I didn't want to like
and none of her
embarrass-
friends said
None-
anything.
Horrible
Those
friends,
bitches.
horrible friends. I should have been like, get yourself new friends. They didn't tell you your nipples.
I'll be
showing.
honest, I can barely stand in line at a grocery store. If someone's tag is sticking out that's female, I will say something to you because if it was me, I would want to know. Someone better tell me.
Oh my God.
If I realize on my own, I'm going to cry.
It makes me think of those like moon phases or whatever. She was like a waxing crescent pepperoni.
Oh, yes. That's so funny.
I think it's waning. Is it waning?
Waning
I think
crescent.
it's a waning crescent.
Waning crescent pepperoni phase.
That's hilarious.
Yes, yeah. So that
Also,
was-
like, I give you full permission to tell any stranger their nips out ever.
I know, I was
Especially
like-
in a public, you're in a restaurant. At the beach, maybe, whatever, your
I
nips
know,
out. But,
but
like,
then it somehow fixed itself. I don't know if she did it or if she moved and the top like readjusted.
It moved on to the next phase.
It did.
it did.
It's now it's a new moon because it's gone.
Yeah, that is why you have to, when you try clothes on in a store, it's like jeans. If you try jeans on and you try them standing up, you definitely should sit down in
Sit.
them because not all jeans feel good sitting down. It's the same thing with a shirt that has questionable booby coverage. Like, you need to do a little
Yeah.
in the store and make sure things are secure because that's wild.
The other day, my oldest came home from work. She works at a grocery store, and she has to wear these polos, but with an apron over the top. And she said she'll be moving around during the day, and she hates it because her apron will move to one side, and then she's just like a boob out. But
like a nursing.
she's in a shirt, but it's really annoying. And I was like, you know what you should do is just stick some really fancy, like dangly pasties on there, so whenever it pops out, it's really exciting. And she goes, pretty sure my work would tell me to take those off.
They were like, you can leave now.
Just like
Southern grocery store.
sparkly tassels on the nips of her polo.
That is not what I would have told her. I might have been like, you should use a pin and pin it to your shirt when you put it on to keep it from moving. But Jessie was like nip tassels.
I thought you were gonna be like, do like Mean Girls and like just cut the like nipple part off.
I forgot about that. That'd also be funny.
That'd be so funny.
Can
you imagine?
No, I could not. But
Also,
that'd be
that
really
right there is a broad-shouldered, big boobed girl problem because when I was young, if I put an apron on, it covered like
Everything.
armpit to
Too much.
armpit.
I just look like
Kendall-
a dude wearing an
I
apron,
guarantee
okay?
Kendall knows exactly what I'm talking about because she is a
100%.
petite little thing, and
It
I
would be
guarantee we could like
full
wrap her.
coverage.
Yeah, she's not
Kendall
having.
doesn't even need the polo underneath. Just the apron is
Yeah,
all she needs.
No one even knows. She doesn't
No
have a shirt on.
waning crescent pepperonis.
funny. No full
full
moons.
coverage.
That's hilarious.
So funny, so funny.
Oh, well, speaking of pepperoni,
Yeah.
what are you cooking this week, James?
I honestly have no idea. Last week I made lasagna. I do have a weird lasagna hack that I made up if you guys would like it.
let me
Chris,
hear it.
I'm not 100% a lasagna lover, but the last 2 times I've gone to make it, I've made my list and I've put ricotta cheese on my list and I forget both times. A lot of people use cottage cheese instead of ricotta, which to me, cottage cheese, the texture is too chunky and the flavor is too bland. So anyways, I take the cottage cheese, I always use large curd cottage cheese, and I smash the bejesus out of it until it's the texture of ricotta. And then I take my shredded parm and I blend it up so it's more like a shakeable parm. So it's like that really fine texture.
Yeah.
And I put that in with my ricotta and then I add basil into that and a little salt and a little heavy cream to give it a creaminess like you would add an egg to your ricotta. And I just do it until it gets to the taste texture I would want from ricotta. And you use that instead of your ricotta and it's delicious. The texture seems the same. The parm with the cottage cheese.
That's a good flavor.
Yeah. So yeah. How about you guys?
I made these noodles, which I think I've made you guys them before. They're Thai peanut noodles, and they're so good. I made them the other night because Ryan was like, I don't know what I'm cooking for dinner. I haven't really like thought about what I'm doing. And I was like, well, I'm just going to make peanut noodles. He's like, oh, hell yeah. Make
so
me
good.
some. And
So good.
thank you, Jess.
And I don't even like peanutty sauces.
Same, but I'll totally do a Thai noodle with a peanut.
Oh
with
my
peanut
gosh,
sauce.
it's
I make some sometimes too. They're so good.
And it is like total peanut butter based. It's just like peanut butter with agave, which people are like, that's too sweet, but it totally works because a
need
lot
it.
of lime juice. Yeah, a lot of lime juice. And we use the amino acids I've been telling you about instead of soy sauce. And I put a little bit of cayenne and you stir it and you have to add water because the consistency of peanut butter with liquid gets real weird. It almost looks like curdled and you have to whisk it till it becomes creamy.
It's the fat content is so high.
It's so good though. Oh my gosh. And so I did that with stir fry veggies, like carrots, cabbage, onion, broccoli. I don't even know what else was in it. I think that was it. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And then I added way too much spice to it. And Ryan was like, this is blowing my brains out. And he's like, it's really good, but it's blowing my brains out.
What do you use for spice in it? Just
Actually,
peppers or what?
we save, this is so funny, hack, it's free. You save all the dried pepper flakes from like Thai food that we get delivered. They're like Thai like chili peppers that they like dry and blend up. You know what I'm talking about?
They're probably spicy.
They're really spicy, like really spicy. And it's like almost powdered. Like red pepper flakes are like a little
no
bit
Thai
chunkier.
places where I live that give you chili peppers. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I honestly put way too much, but I love
so
spice.
good.
And Ryan does too, but he was like, this is just too hot, but it's so good. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I did. Yeah.
delicious. Jess, you done any cooking lately?
So this week I've done a lot of takeout pizza.
Ooh, again.
And it's
I'm pretty sure last week you did lots of takeout.
very delicious.
What's your favorite takeout pizza?
We usually get some sort of like supreme, like lots of veggies and meat on it, thin crust. I used to be able to eat a lot of pizza, but I'm to the point in my life where I feel like an adult where I can just have like one slice.
You're vegan, so you're not eating pizza unless it doesn't have cheese on it, and that's not even pizza. That's just bread with sauce. I know, because I worked at a pizza place and people would order that. I'd be like, "Are you okay?" They'd be like, "I'm vegan." I'm like, "Bleh."
I know people
Don't
always
order
question.
pizza.
They'll call and be like, "Are you sure you put no cheese?" I'm like, "Yes, no cheese."
Buy
I'm
a
like,
loaf.
"Okay."
Buy a loaf of French bread and save yourself some money. Dip it in pizza sauce. I'll do it sometimes when I don't think about what I'm going to make for dinner, and I'm like, "Oh, I have mozzarella. I guess we'll have pizza tonight." Because Chris, like I said, he's simple. He just wants pepperoni or sausage or both. Like so,
Yeah.
I usually make his half that, and then my half I'll put whatever veggies I have. If I have spinach or if I have mushrooms, I put also like pepperoni peppers, banana peppers on a pizza. Just as a vegan, do that. That like pickliness with any vegetables, bomb ass. So
Girl,
good.
don't even get me started down the pickle train.
Oh no, the pickle train sounds like something dirty. Today on the pickle train.
Choo choo.
Okay, see, that shows that Kendall has a toddler. She's like choo choo. Me and Jesse are like, we're like grown ass adults here messing around. Kendall's like,
Speaking of, where is he? I didn't see him. He's right there.
he's safe, guys. Don't worry, we're watching him on the camera.
Yeah, that was fun. Well, thank you so much for coming and
I
talking
know.
about your
Thanks for
life.
having me.
I'm so interested in it. I really am. I love
mean,
it.
come if you ever come to Utah, let me know. I might have an extra fifth wheel. You can always stay in it for free.
Heck
Anybody,
yeah.
hit me up.
Oh, I forgot to ask. Can you move your fifth wheel?
Oh yeah, fifth
Okay.
wheels are totally mobile. We've actually talked about just loading things up in the winter and going to like southern Texas where it's a lot warmer in the really bad part of the winter, which we might eventually do, but it's just a commitment. We can never decide where we're going to go. Anybody's in Utah, hit me up. We let people stay on our property all the time.
Do you have any that you're selling right now, or you're working on ones to sell right now?
We are currently in the process of cab over camper, which are the ones that sit on the back of the truck. It was just a little winter project because we were bored. We had a big one that we sold right before the winter. We like to buy one, sell one, buy one, sell one. We don't like to have too many on the property because then there's a couple times we've had a couple extra and then it gets like, we look like a trailer park. We don't want to look like that. And the city doesn't like it either.
So
guys.
hit Jamie if you guys want to go to the trailer park, and
Yeah.
and you can stay there if you want.
Yeah, it's great.
No, it's not going to be for free. I think she should charge you at least like $50 to cover her water for the next 3 months.
No, I wouldn't even charge you anything.
Great idea.
You like pay me with beer. Good beer, not crappy beer. I'm not taking no Bud Light.
Awesome. Well, hit us up on our socials. Ask us any questions. Send us an email. And yeah, have a fabulous week. I'm going to Italy.
Yeah, she's the worst. Ooh, gross.
She's leaving us.
I'm so excited. Prepare for multiple Italy episodes, guys.
Me too. I hope you have some crazy stories. I hope wild things happen. I hope some old granny gives you some yummy food.
I can't wait for you.
So
I'm
fun.
excited.
Well, thanks for having me on, you guys. This
Thanks
was
for
fun.
coming.
And if my
Thanks,
voice is
Jane.
annoying, I apologize.
They have to listen to us, so it's okay.
You guys are great.
I love it. So, arrivederci.
Ciao.
Goodbye.
And that, party people, wraps up another delightful episode of Parties to Playdates.
We hope you're leaving with a smile, a story, and maybe a tip or two.
Remember, life's journey is better shared with a friend.
And we're so grateful to be part of yours.
If you enjoyed today's chat, don't forget to rate and subscribe to our show.
Your support keeps our community growing and our stories flowing. We want to hear from you. Please send us your thoughts, ideas, and questions to partiestoplaydates@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Parties to Playdates.
Until next time, keep embracing the chaos and finding the joy.
Take care and stay connected, party people.
Bye for now, and don't forget to laugh a little extra today.
Bye.